Today's Monday, September 9th, 7:14 a.m. and it's been 13 days since the last event here in Philly that dominated the news. And then before that event, it was 13 days when the shooting happened over at the Temple Hospital. And it's 10 days since the last event that when you go on YouTube, when you go on Facebook, when you have your feeds, if you turn on the television set, if you're watching soap operas, whatever it is, when your shows are interrupted by a major news dominating event, then those are the events I'm talking about that you're going to see. So far there's 3 since the last batch. Since the last 4 that Steve likes to talk about. He bunches them up in 4s. They're all related to each other. Have you noticed that there's nothing that has dominated the news within the last 10 days? Like all throughout the world, when your channel in your city is bombarded with nothing but whatever that event is, it hasn't happened in 10 days. And those events that are going to continue here in Philly, well, so far it's been 13 days in between as of today. You know, Steve didn't, for the people that, like, I know there's different groups of people. I know there's his colleagues that play stupid, like they don't know anything. And then there's my subs that, you know, you might be on the fence about it. Some of yous have woken up a little bit more about who he is, like who I've been saying he is this entire time. I just don't have any proof, right? But circumstantial evidence just keeps on pointing right in his direction. And then you got the trolls that they truly don't know any better. They don't even know that they're working for him. You know what I mean? They don't even know. Yeah, he's not the one that signs your check, but he is the one that runs it. And so you do get paid from YouTube. It's just not specifically from him, you know? Like even my Walmart video, I'm literally getting paid by SJD from that Walmart video. But it's not him signing the check, but it's also just a video that continues to get views, that's monetized. A video about almost 2 years ago, 2 years old. But the trolls that are still trolling, and they're blind as a bat, and they can't see anything happen, and everything's a joke. Well, you know, when it happens, it happens. That's when you'll find out. Until then, you just have a job to do. So he didn't disappear. It's not like he didn't purposely make a video, because what other way is there to get you to say, "Where's Steve?" Think about it, people. The ones that are on the fence, think about it. He's been up this entire time. He's coming after me and my wife and all this information he has. The video, he'll play the video. It's just that when you announce it like 7 days ahead of time that you're gonna, and you actually show the video, so it's not even like he has to make one. When you show the video and you say you're gonna put it up on Friday, which is September 6th, which is you know, from, look at it like this, from September 6th, at the end of the day, because he said he would make a video by Friday. At the end of Friday, that's when the countdown begins as to, you know, where's frickin' Waldo? Where is he? So at the end of Friday, basically it's, okay, so it's the 7th. The 7th, all of the 7th into the 8th is 1 day. All of the 8th into the 9th is 2 days. All the 9th into the 10th is 3 days. And then all of the 10th going into the 11th is 4 days. Now I do know that there's a part in the Bible that says that 2 witnesses will be killed in the streets for 3.5 days, and then after 3.5 days the breath of life enters back in. And Steve has already claimed that he's both witnesses in one vessel. He's claimed that he is Elijah and he is whoever else is supposed to be the second witness. 2 of them in one vessel. This is something that I've seen happening a long time ago. Because I'm putting it into the September 8th, September 11th area, where nothing happened to Trump, but it's happening to Steve. And my understanding is that it happens to the underground first. Like the underground, Steve's messages, he'll give us his before Trump gives us his. But it's the same message, it's the same script. It just has a different you know, storyline, but it's the same script, same timing. So at this time, when I made the video a couple months ago saying that whatever happens to Trump is going to happen to Steve above ground, as above, so below, with the mainstream media up and then social media down, underground. Whatever Steve does, Trump does. Whatever Trump does, Steve does. But Steve will do it first because he's there to give you. Why do you think? Here's why it's always underground media, social media first. Because Steve gives us the clues with his subliminal messages, with the events that are going to take place on the mainstream media that you're going to see. So they all happen first, underground, and then what we see happen in above ground is things like when Steve James Sean talks about things like Andrea knows and her being connected to black and nobility, the mafia, and referencing Philadelphia, all on the same day, August 14th, before the shooting happens over in Philadelphia, right there at Erie and Broad Street, right there where it shows the black and nobility building. We ship to prisons. Those types of things that he says beforehand, and then it happens. Then he says, we got 3 in a row. 3, we're weighing it out. The 3 gematria entries in a row of Philadelphia, but he's really talking about events in a row. And then here comes this fire at the church in Philadelphia, along with Kleck and his buddy Spears, referencing the Church of Philadelphia, referencing Philadelphia, referencing Home Depot's, back on July 4th, and then exactly 30 days later, August 4th, comes the shooting at Ned Pepper's. The shooting. And then the other, well, because they were also referencing Ohio as they're getting their lumber at the place called New Philadelphia, New Jerusalem. It's all tied in together. They're all connected together. They all have bits and pieces of what the script is. And but it's looking like Steve has the main script, the main authority, the person that makes the main decisions, the ones that calls the shots. That's who Steve is. So when he told me before that he was gonna be killed in the streets, at first it was me and him if I came down there, but yet he'd already sent me a message months before. It was like in February 2018 or something. Like, I got this message saying that he is like the two witnesses or something. So this was already pre-planned a long time ago, that at the specific appointed time, when it was time for Steve to start to play God, you know, to start to really start to see the results of playing God on earth. You know, because when you're sitting behind the curtain and you have all the controls, well, yeah, of course you can play God. They can put anybody in there and play God. If you give authority to a specific individual that you're allowed to surveil anybody you want, you know, mainly right here in the United States, you are hidden, protected. You know, you just get the rest for 8 years. I'm starting to believe that he actually does stay at that house, you know, for like the most part, because he has to play this role of being poor. Like, I mean, he has to play this role to, like, proving to the elite themselves that he has to be a poor, suffering servant. He has to be that way to the Masons, like the lowest. Yeah, he's even said he's the dingleberry in the rich people's asses, or something like that, where he's the lowest of the low. He's the least among Judah, right? And then, but once it's time, then he doesn't have to live like that anymore. He's proven his point. He gets his castle and everything, all that, whatever happens after that is the way it works. So it is possible that he I mean, he's there a lot, but when you live right around a corner in a mansion, you can, I mean, when you live in the area, you can just go drive to your studio and make a video, and then pretend you're tired, or you just woke, or just take a nap there and wake up, like, to make it look even more real. So either way, it is his house. He's there. You know, that is where he makes the videos at. So, but he did say at one point, like, because I asked him, like, how's anybody gonna know if you died, or, you know, in the street, or, like, well, you know, people would ask, like, where's Steve, you know, on YouTube, they'll be asking where he's at. So that is why he made the video up for Friday, to tell everybody that he's going to upload the video. Now, he knows that there's going to be rumors about him that are spread about, you know, number one, what happened to him, and number two, what really happened to him. And he knows that those rumors are going to be spread by me. My channel is going to spread those rumors. Because when he only has like 55, 60 people watching each video, well, I sometimes have like 250, maybe 300 views. So there's like 300 more people that are going to hear those rumors about what I'm saying. Now, let's see, what is the rumor? Or do you want to just go by facts? Here's the facts. He said he would make a video. He would upload it on Friday, September the 6th, 2 days before I assumed that Trump would probably get attempted assassination or something with Steve. Whatever happens with him happens with Steve. But it happens with the underground first, which means Steve is up to bat first, then Trump. So the fact is, he didn't make his video. He didn't upload it. At the end of Friday began the countdown of Where's Steve? At the end of Friday. So at the end of Saturday, at the end of Sunday, and at the end of today would be 3 days. At the end of today is 3 days. And then sometime in the middle of the day, Tuesday, would be 3.5 days. And then 9/11 comes around, it's 4 full days. But then the 12th would be 5, the 13th would be 6, and the 14th would be 7. 13th, 5, 5 and 11, and then 6, 7, 13. You know, it could be where, because I understand this too. After 3.5 days, they're going to exchange gifts to one another, right? That's in the scriptures. And then I always understood it that after 3.5 days, the breath of life enters. So there's a period of 3.5 more days. Now, all right. So what is he going to do? What's he going to do? Is he going to pop up and give some kind of story that he got blown up at the Michigan, or the guy that was bomb threatened at the Michigan University? That guy ran rampant, right? Now this is how Steve gives himself away, but he doesn't, because you can't prove it. But incidences like recognize the Golan Heights after 52 years. Trump announcing the Golan Heights back on 3/2/1, back on March 21st. Trump basically announced the Messiah. Even though he's announcing himself as the Messiah, but he has to announce like the underground Messiah. And then but remember the Christchurch shooting? Of course you do. I'll never let you forget it. On March 15th. And then the very same next day, I believe they changed the date, but the very next day was the balloon scare in Michigan University, just like there was another bomb scare in Michigan University. I'm pretty sure it was the same exact place. The shooter, whether he shot up both of the mosques or he was going to the mosque, it's always two conflicting stories. It is. It's just, it's so irritating that it's that way. But the shooter was going to the Linwood Mosque, and then the very next day in Michigan there was the balloon scare, and then the same day Jonathan Kleck and his balloon happy birthday balloon caption that he made sure that he put up there. Those types of coincidences are not coincidences. That's him with his fingerprint all over these events. That was the time when I really started to connect it together. Like, man, this dude has the frickin' world script in his hand and he's trying to be funny. And then you have, because it always goes back to where it began. It goes from east and it goes to west and it goes back to east again. When he's saying he's going to make the video on September 6th, and then September 6th, he doesn't, and then look, it's just what he's doing, all right? And then here comes the few days that he's not showing up, because that's the way that you plan it. I could do the same thing, you know. But before I say that, with him doing that, and then it's not, and then just like foretold, there's usually like two events, and one of them is more news dominating than the other. One of them is world dominating news, and then the other is just local dominating news. So the local dominating news was a bomb scare at the Hanna administration building. Temple University will be next. Michigan State University. So it's going to be a battle between like Temple University and Michigan State University. So don't be surprised you don't hear some bomb scares in Temple University. But it's still going to happen here in Philly. And so the coincidences of Steve disappears and all of a sudden there's bomb threats in Michigan, which is like really close to where he lives, over near Linwood, Michigan, that just ties it all together. His events, his stuffed peppers video was classic because he got the 4 stuffed peppers and he was making a batch of 6, and it's like immediately right away you know that July 28th is a major news dominating event, and that's why I asked him, what's going to happen, Steve? And then it's the festival. It's the Gilroy Food Festival over in San Diego, California, over in the west side. That happened on the 28th, and then the Mississippi Walmart shooting on the 30th, and then the Texas El Paso Walmart shooting, a back-to-back Walmart shooting on August 3rd, and then 13 hours later, to top it off with the toppings, the 4 pieces of ketchup on the 4 peppers, is Ned Peppers. The guy, all right, Steve, he has the world script in his hand. And on top of that, all of those events were 6 full days in between. That was one pattern. But the pattern before that, that started on March 15th with the from east to west, the New Zealand shooting, and then the Linwood Mosque the very next day, and then making it 2. It's always about 2 stories at a time. Then you have the fire, because shooting and then the fire on March 15th with Notre Dame. And then it's a 6-day in between those next 3 events. So the number 6 is dropped everywhere, and the number 4, and that's how he's using it. And then this time around, it's 4 events that will dominate the news. And but the Philadelphia events so far is 13 days in between. Nothing happened today, but it's still 13 days since then, which is 2 events back to back, just like I seen it happening back to back here in Philadelphia. And then you have the shooting. So it's still, the connection is, it's still a shooting. It's still major world news dominating. Those 3 events since the end of the last 4 batch of peppers that ended on Ned Peppers back on August 4th, and then 10 days later, here comes the next batch of 4. It's like it's a you can at least count on 4 world news dominating events in a month. So the 4th one is up. Here we are, it's the 9th of September. They are just, when they're referencing bombs, like that mouthpiece, I forget the name of the, whatever his name is, but when he was doing the video showing the fake blood in the Philadelphia shooting, and saying he's gonna have to blow things up, like talking about the TV, because somebody recording the TV, but he has to blow things up. We're gonna go back and blow things up. Jonathan Clegg blowing things up. They all know the world script. That part. I don't know if they understand what's going to happen. I think only Steve and his colleagues know what's really going to happen when it all does jump off. Like, what is the end result? They know. The other flunkies, they don't know. The trolls have no clue. And they're the ones that get it the most. They're the ones that stand in the most shame. The most shame. And I don't feel sorry for you at all, because it's deserved. You get what you deserve. So all those events taking place, and we're waiting on the fourth event. Okay, the fourth one. It sure seems like it's going to be a bomb. It just sure seems like it's bomb material. And I don't think those banks in 16th and Market, in between 16th and Market and John F. Kennedy Boulevard, I don't think that's in the clear. I think that was an event that was foretold, that's going to happen in the future by that event that didn't take place over in New York with the 3 rice cookers. Just giving you all types of messages as to where it's going to be at. Because it was 3 empty rice cookers, which means at one point in time there's going to be 3 full rice cookers. And they always mirror the events, and they always duplicate what they're saying. And then, just to verify it a little bit more, the bomb scare in Michigan just stamps it down. It nails it down. It's like if you had a question about Stephen James and Sean, if you really were on the fence at the point in time that happened, but then you realized from before, if you keep in mind all the events that I've been pointing to before, that person has the world script in his hand. Well, I mean, I don't know if you could be convinced by this one, but how about when 9/11 comes around and it does happen here in Philly? And I'm telling you that he knew this the entire time, pointing to Philly, trying to distract you with New York and the tsunami over there, and trying to say that Great Babylon is London. It's literally Philadelphia is going down. It's going to get destroyed. I'm still on the fence about, is it going to be real destruction? Or is this the part that it happens right towards the end before the power's cut off? And, well, yeah, I still believe that's going to happen with the star hitting right in the center of Philadelphia, like William Penn. The star, the asteroid. But then again, the asteroid's supposed to hit the world today, and it's a football field size asteroid. So they're referencing football. They're referencing the asteroid, which references the star that can destroy whatever it hits in its path. And the bombs are being referenced now. Michigan University, Steve, the day he goes M.i.a, all of a sudden there's bomb threats right where he's at. And there's still going to be a crazed gunman that's roaming around the streets over there in Michigan. You know, that's going to happen too. And there's still got to be a crazed gunman over here, because I think Steve might be trying to, you know, if you hear that I got shot and killed, just don't believe it. If I'm off the air, just understand that they kidnapped me. Okay, the only way that they can keep me from talking is by kidnapping me. Or killing me. Like really killing me. But I don't see them doing that. But I do see it being possible that they'll attempt to if I can understand Steve's mentality, because he has the world script in his hand, he can tell you that when this shooting happens at Home Depot here in Philly or in Warrington, right around the corner from my house, and then it shows like my picture that I got shot and killed. Just know that I won't be able to get on YouTube to tell you that I'm alive, because they probably kidnapped me, or they put me in isolation for 10 days, so I shut my mouth. That's probably what it is. So maybe like October 18th is the deadline, and then they try to hold me, or October 21st, and they get me for 10 days until the 1st of November, because that's when it's the real New World Order. And even Steve knows the World Order. Steve knows the New World Order is going to benefit all of God's people first. Then the rest, well, it's going to be better off than what it was. But look, people still do work. Like, everybody works, has the ability to work. It's not like everybody's going to be resting in the land. Just the ones that deserve the rest, the ones that put in the work. The ones that put in no work, the ones that went against the ones that are putting in the work, man, oh man. You guys are the bottom feed, you know. You're going to be in the kingdom, but you're going to be servants. You just are. And you're going to learn to enjoy it and respect it. Because what else are you going to do? Now, I could do the same thing as Steve. I can say this. If I wanted to play the same role, I would do the same damn thing. I would say, you know what, Steve, I have a video. I would do the same thing. I got a video I'm going to show you on Friday. Watch. It will expose everything. Everything. I got all the information that I need from an inside CIA agent that, well, you're going to find out who it is, Steve. And I'm going to put it up Friday. What's the date? I'm going to put it up Friday. I'm going to put it up Wednesday, in the midst of the week, Steve. September 11th, I'm going to put it up, right? Okay, now, I make video every single day for these past 600 days or so, right? If I wanted to play some kind of game, I would say that, I would have to be a liar though, of course. I would say that, and then come September 11th, I don't show up. And then the next day, I don't show up. Now, what are you going to think? The ones that have watched me for all this time, what are you immediately going to think? Like, wait a minute, he did say he had a lot of information on Steve, and all of a sudden he's not. Is he commenting? Has anybody, you know what I mean? That would work. That would be more effective than what Steve's doing. But what he's doing, I get it completely, 100%. I understand it. But if I did it to the regular people that are watching, you guys would start to think something like that, wouldn't you? Like, what's up with that? Why isn't he up? And then 3.5 days later, I pop up like, oh my God, I died. And I just woke up now. Like, right now, I just woke up. And Steve tried to kill me. So that's what he's playing right now.